Airbnb's host-only fee of 15.5%. Yes, you heard that correct. 15.5% is live.
It's already rolled out for most hosts using property management software, so a PMS. And that shift has a lot of people talking.
We know the fees are higher, the messaging is vague, and everyone's wondering, am I next?
So today we are breaking down what's already changed, what's likely coming next, and what smart hosts can do right now to stay profitable and calm.
Hi, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
And I'm Annette Grant.
And together we are
Thanks for visiting.
We've been hosting for well over a decade, welcomed tens of thousands of guests, and earned thousands of 5-star reviews.
Our portfolio continues to bring in over $1.5 million year over year, and supported not only by the industry's leading brands, but also some of the biggest media outlets.
And we're here to help you with your furnished rental.
Let's go ahead and break it down for you. So Airbnb has officially moved, again, the PMS connected host to a 15.5% host-only fee. Again, host-only fee. Because this is replacing the old split fee model where the host, we were living the best life at that 3% host fee, and then the guest would pay the remainder. Now, Airbnb hasn't announced an official final date for everyone else, all of the non-PMS connected hosts, but you better believe it is coming. So you want to stick around for this whole video, whether you are PMS connected or not, because this is what they're after. Simpler pricing for guests, fewer variables from the platform, more consistency across all markets, because some of our fellow hosts around the world, they have had this host fee for a very, very long time. And our friends in Brazil, they are actually at 16%.
And the writing has been on the wall all year long, okay? Airbnb has been moving toward this, first with the all-in pricing, then standardized guest fee displays.
And so this is the next logical step. This is not random, this is alignment.
And here's what everyone's chit-chatting about in the industry, okay? So we're seeing people say, I'll ditch my PMS to avoid the new fee. Or I'm hearing, I'm going to go all in on direct bookings. Or I'll just wait and see what happens. And they do nothing. They have plans on doing nothing different.
Or they're not even aware.
Or they're not aware. We got you if you're not aware. We're going to be aware now. Let me take you back to fall of 2024, which was about a year ago.
Right, and we want to share this because this happened to us quite some time ago. So we're actually living this from a past tense. We've been at this host fee percentage for quite some time. So everything that we're teaching in this video is from us living this over the past year with several other hosts, and again, our friends across the world who've had this host fee for quite some time also.
Yeah, so about a year ago, and actually you saying that, Annette, brings purpose for the fact that it happened to us, because at first I felt very targeted. I'm like, why am I having to pay this host-only fee when all of my other U.S. friends and co-hosts were still on the split fee? But I am grateful now because I've had a whole year to figure out what works and what doesn't. And I can tell you that after playing around with how we were going to continue just to put the fee back on the guest, because again, the guest, it's all-in pricing. So the guest sees that final price. They no longer see line items, and that is the good thing.
Right. It's like, and so for those of you that maybe aren't even understanding the host-only fee, it's like the actual cost for the total reservation, as you see it, would still be the same for the guest. It's just that we are taking on all of that expense now, not splitting it with them.
So it was September 2024, and I was doing all of our end of month numbers, and I had no idea that they added all the fees to my side. So when I was doing the owner statements, because I manage properties for other people, I was like, wait, these fees look really heavy on our side. What is going on? And so I did some digging. They did not email me. They did not notify me, because guess what? They don't have to. I'm on their platform.
And it was in the terms and conditions that if you were PMS connected or
it could happen,
you could have those increased fees.
Absolutely, yes. So when I did some digging and I found out that, the entire fee, I am quote unquote paying for it, all I had to do moving forward was adjust it intentionally, like Annette was saying, and put it on a different line item so the guest was still paying for it and it wasn't coming out of my side. That way we could stay consistent. And once I did that, because again, the fee that the guest pays or the overall investment that the guest pays at the end is the same, we did not see any occupancy loss or a ding on our value, our perceived value, because we were still competitive with our market. Our pricing was still in line. And so why I'm sharing that is because it's better to be proactive than reactive.
Right.
And while Airbnb has given every PMS host a lot of information now, here in 2025, about this host-only service fee, there could be other things down the line that they quietly put you on and they're not telling you about. Maybe it's buried in terms and conditions. And not just Airbnb. It could be Vrbo. It could be another OTA. It could be maybe you do a lot of promoting your property on Instagram. What I'm telling you here is to pay attention and to do your best. I know you're busy. I know you're wearing a lot of hats, but don't go on autopilot, especially when it comes to the platforms that help you make money.
Right.
Be in the know. Pay attention.
And so this is not about panicking at all. This is about planning. There will constantly be shifts, increases in your business. So you just have to plan ahead. Be proactive, not reactive, and sharpen your pencil. Know your numbers. We've got to dig in.
And that's also why, and I'll give you a lot of credit for watching videos, listening to podcasts about your industry, because the people who present that content by proxy have access to other people's stories, or it happens to themselves, or they read the news articles and they bring it to the audience. So continue to educate yourself, continue to listen to trusted resources in your industry so you can stay in the know that way as well.
So if you are a co-host or a property manager, again, stay calm. But this shift will definitely trigger a commission conversation. Who absorbs the cost, you or the owner? Okay, we talked about it earlier. Here's the thing. The guest can still absorb the cost. You just have to be strategic about how you position the host fee back to the guest and make sure your owner statements and or invoices are accurate and clear. Again, remember, the host was used to paying this. We just got to make sure the guest was used to paying this. We just want to make sure that we're on top of it and we don't look like we're less expensive now. Like we're giving out coupons and we didn't even know we were, you know?
Right.
So this is what you have to do. You have to show how your pricing strategy is offsetting this new change. That way your owners can stay confident. And truly, I want everybody, whether you host on your own, whether you're a co-host or property manager, this is actually an opportunity for you. I was at an event last week, like hard conversations, understanding something new. This is just like exercise, like building your muscle, making you a better business owner. And so this, if you have to chat with your owners that you work with about this, or even yourself, this is just one of those things of like really digging deep, understanding it, pivoting, adjusting. And once you've had the conversations, once everyone is clear, once everyone is confident, you'll actually move forward in the relationship much stronger. So after you do all those workouts, you're getting stronger. Once you have those conversations, once you understand how to explain it, how to make it clear, you're actually going to progress as a way stronger business owner, real estate owner than you were prior.
If you're not connected to a PMS yet, so a property management software, you might think that this doesn't apply to you. But I'm going to say this word, yet.
Mm-hmm. We don't want you to become complacent because you are quote unquote safe right now. There is no official timeline out there from Airbnb, but if you have been paying attention to any of the changes this past year, everything signals to consistent pricing, and I have to say this is probably coming to you next. And hey, if it doesn't, then you've increased your pricing, right?
They've been tightening their standards all year. So response times, review quality, cancellation policies, and now pricing transparency.
Yeah. So if you're not on the new model, start preparing for it as if you are. Okay?
Yeah. Because when Airbnb decides to roll it out universally, and we believe that they will, you'll want to have your strategy ready so that you're not scrambling.
Before we start panicking and worried about the 15.5%, I want to switch this, have a mindset shift. And do you actually know your profit margin?
Because if not, that's your first problem, and that's your most important problem to solve. most hosts are already leaving more than 15% on the table through underpriced peak dates, chasing occupancy instead of revenue, and poor forecasting or manual rate setting.
So the question isn't how do I add the over 15%? It's where am I already leaking 15%? And Sarah and I have been on lots of pricing calls recently with so many hosts, and actually have very exciting news for most of you. They are leaving a ton of money on the table through those things that Sarah just said. So please do the work. You have some exciting profits ahead of you.
And for you property managers and co-hosts out there, this is the moment to show owners your value with data, not with feelings. This is solvable. You can still bring in the same revenue you always have. You just have to be flexible and a little bit creative.
So here's what you're going to do, whether you've been switched or not, you're anticipating it. We want you to go ahead and look at your books. We want to make sure that your Airbnb host fee is a separate line item so you can continue to monitor it. And again, we're going to adjust our pricing intentionally, not emotionally. We're going to communicate with our business partners or with our owners, if you're a co-host or manager, about revenue and profit margins. You should be doing that already anyway, so maybe it's just a good old kick in the you-know-where to get you in line. Review your PMS and your systems. Understand where Airbnb's integrations may change. Stay consistent. All guests and even the OTAs like Airbnb reward reliability, fast communication, solid reviews, no surprises, and really focus on you and your business. We don't want to have to be reacting to each and every change that Airbnb makes. So please, let this just be a tool in your tool belt. We want you to have a direct booking site. We want you to be diversifying on other platforms because these changes are going to continue, and we want you to own your short-term rental hospitality business, not just be an Airbnb host.
And I'll say this, Annette, and this is a good conversation for you to have either with yourself or with your business partners, is the search landscape is changing with the introduction of AI. So I would get real comfortable with diversifying where your bookings are coming from if how people search and find short-term rentals continues to evolve and change with AI. Airbnb is going to have to stay on its toes to be the landmark platform for short-term rentals that it has been for the past, just over a decade. With AI, who knows how people are going to search for properties? And so we have to remain nimble, on our toes. And if all you know is how to get your business from Airbnb, you may have invested in this multiple six-figure, maybe even seven-figure business, this property, and feel left behind, lost in the dark, and not sure how to get diversified when everyone else is just passing you by. So the real takeaway here is consistency has been the theme of Airbnb's entire year, and this fee structure reinforces it. And also that the only thing that's consistent truly is change. And so for you to be ready to change no matter what happens. All right, so how can we look forward to 2026 and be a bit more strategic now that the fee is all on the host side?
Right, we'll have a full year.
Right.
Going into
So
2026.
let's make sure that you're building this fee into your 2026 forecasts now.
And to let you know, we review our property's average daily rate, occupancy, and revenue versus the market each and every month because these changes just went into effect. So you're going to see there's going to be a lot of changes over the end of the year and then moving into the next year.
Yeah, now more than ever, I would be very focused on how the market's performing and how you're performing against it. Again, you can do that with third-party dynamic pricing software. And then you want to model your real take-home after platform fees, if you have a PMS, cleaning, and any management fees that you might, have to pay to someone else if you do have a co-host or someone helping you or a property manager. So we are personally offsetting this fee, this host-only fee, because we are co-hosts or property managers, whatever you want to call us. There's a management fee line item on Airbnb, and you can either have that be a flat fee or a percentage fee. we are choosing, and again, this might change, and this is what we're going to try at first. We'll continue to monitor it, and then we will pivot if needed. But on that management fee line item, we are adding a 16.8% increase to the entire price of their stay, which, remember, that used to just be split, but at the end of that invoice, it's the same number. But now I'm giving that entire thing via management fee, so it'll be included on that guest's, call it an invoice when they pay for their stay. And why is it 16.8% and not 15.5%? Well, because that 15.5% that Airbnb will now take out of what we make also includes the cleaning fee and any other fees, that taxes that you include on that invoice. So we need a little bit of a margin there to be able to cover it. Plus, this is a whole other story, but we also have a damage waiver that we ask the guests to pay to cover a certain accidental damages that they might have in the property where there's no questions asked, we'll just take care of it. We include it in that percentage too. Okay, and all of this is outlined in our house rules and in our listing description. We do this on the management fee instead of just adding the 15.5% to our pricing because we charge our client on the revenue that we collect on the nightly rate. So if that doesn't make sense because you're not a property manager or co-host, don't worry about it. But I just want you to understand, this is the kind of work that you have to do when you open up an Airbnb business, when you open up a short-term rental business. You really have to go in there and see what's going to work, how it's all going to wash out when you end up divvying up money at the end of the month.
And if you're a host and you're thinking, when Sarah was reviewing the invoice and management fees and damage waiver and taxes, when was the last time you went and stayed at a hotel? And specifically in a resort town? The invoice has a lot of lines on it. So don't feel as if your guest is unfamiliar with.
And they're not going to see any of this anyway.
But so I just want to we are used to, as guests, having to pay a multitude of different fees and taxes for travel. Most of the time it is a luxury to do that. So I just want to offer that to you. If you're starting to get that lump in your throat, or you're kind of gripping the steering wheel a little tight of this is a lot of fees and a lot of taxes, it's all part of the overarching business. Okay? So take a deep breath. You aren't gouging your guests. This is part of running a profitable short-term rental hospitality business. And with that being said, all of the strategies that we are trying, if they are not working, again, as business owners, we will take it upon ourselves to know our numbers. If we need to pivot, we're going to pivot. And that's what being a nimble, responsible business owner looks like. This host fee isn't the end of the world. It's a reminder for you to know your numbers.
And even if you haven't seen it yet, it's probably coming. And if it never comes, this is still work that is not lost on you. It's not wasted time, because paying attention to the thing that's bringing in money for you and your family and your investments is always important.
So don't wait for the switch. We want you to plan for it.
Because Airbnb has made one thing very clear this year: consistency wins.
So data over drama here, facts over feelings. And if this video got your brain triggered into wait, there are other things I need to be doing, we have a video that we want you to check out. It's 5 things every smart short-term rental owner or Airbnb owner should do now before the end of the year. Okay? And we want to know, let us know in the chat, what have you done to prepare for this change? Did you change your pricing?
Did you get changed yet? Do you have a PMS? What do you think is going to happen?
We want to know where you're at. What's going on with it?
And if numbers aren't quote unquote your thing, go ahead and look at the first pinned comment. We have a worksheet that you can grab for yourself to help you know your numbers. And with that, I am Sarah Karakayan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are
Thanks for visiting.